I'm a little late. Oh my god. I'm in the long maintenance now. So I have at least a month now of 6 times a day of doing salt rinses. So, yeah. Hang on a second, I want to hear this.
Text message is correct. Are they accurate?
I am not going to resign. I work every day. I work every day for the people of Texas.
But are those text messages? Are they accurate? Are those real text messages?
I am not going to resign. I'm not going to resign. I work every day for the people of Texas.
Did you carry it?
And
By the way, that is the voice of Tony Gonzalez, a Democrat who pretends to be a Republican because it's the only way he can get elected in his district. And as we found out, a horrible, abusive monster who forced himself on his staffer and intimidated her to the point that she tried to kill herself, and she succeeded by burning herself alive. I will not resign. I'm a good Democrat, Toady. I will not resign. Brandon Herrera can slander me all he wants, but I will not resign. Oh, God. Brandon's gonna absolutely smoke him. The entire part, everybody's calling for his resignation, too. So, Brandon is going to absolutely smoke this guy. If I was Brandon, I would hit on this constantly. It's not mudslinging. It's revealing just how much of a scumbag piece of shit he is. Because again, all the stuff was proven true. Like all the text messages were verified and confirmed. And we have multiple witnesses that came forward and were like, yeah, no, they were in a relationship. They were in an affair by the congressman's doing, not by her want. He lorded his authority over her. Well, sorry. I wanted to see that. And again, I hope Brandon also sues the motherfucker. I really do. I hope he sues the motherfucker. He should be charged with defamation. If I was Brandon Herrera, I would go after him and I would sue his ass in court after he loses. Yeah. Checking over a bunch of stuff. Okay, so. I started writing some more, by the way. And it's not much, but we've done I'll say 2 pages. Because I'm in a weird spiral of not being able to sleep right now. My sleep schedule's all over the place. But I started the Night's Watch, which is going to be the one about the awakened humans from their perspective, and that's going to be dealing with the they're going to be the ones dealing with the villain Scratch. I do use villain intentionally. There was a discussion that was happening in Kree's Discord. I guess not really a discussion, but it got posted about, like, this is what's killing what killed so much writing. Here we go. Let's pull this puppy up. Beep. This, because so many people had no concept of, like, how to actually pull this off, right? Shit tier. Villains who are just evil or lust for power. Already, you're off on a bad footing. Matt tier. Villains whose motives are mystery and seem almost insane at times. Mid tier. Villains who are only obeying their nature and doing what they do to survive. High tier. Villains who are retaliating against misdeeds done to them. They may be seeking to change society as a whole. Great tier. Reluctant villains who only do evil things because of the situation they find themselves in. Elder God tier. Villains whose motives are hard to find fault in and arguably better than the heroes. This has done, like, irreparable damage to writing and stories in general. So many people want to pull off this bullshit. That's why we get the morally gray, like, all over the place. Again, there's room for shades of gray. But there is genuine evil in the world. Actual outright evil. Look at the fucking Democrat Party, right? Like, so many people think in this way, like, oh, it's a subversion. This shit takes a extreme level of talent to pull it off and not be just absolute dog shit. So it should be like the genuine difficulty test. Or maybe like we should have the bell curve, right? We should have the morons and everything at the bottom, who are like villains who are just evil or lust for power. Right? That should be the low IQ. The midwit should be up here, of people like, no, it's everything complicated and morally gray, and what about their backstory and everything? And it's like, and then the super high IQ should be villains who are just evil or lust for power. That's what we should do. That's what we should do as a thing. Like, again, you could pull off, you can do this bullshit, right? Where you make the villain's motivation stronger and more appealing than the hero's. And you can actually make it a condemnation on chasing such power. Like, because you have done such morally reprehensible things, it doesn't matter. You've tainted your entire ideology. Like, nothing excuses it. Again, we're dealing with it in Den of the Arctic Wolf, where nothing excuses the necromancer. She has the tragic, sad backstory, right? Where the Dwarven clanhold started a pogrom, and they massacred her family. They killed them horribly. They put them to the flame. That does not justify anything she's doing. Yeah, it does. It means the Dwarven clanholds are a bunch of fucking pricks and assholes that deserve to get their teeth kicked in. So why in the fuck are you over here in Rosentia killing a bunch of people, especially children, and then puppeteering their corpses? Fuck off. Your brain don't work. Now, if you had been over in the Dwarven clan holds and had been doing your necromancy, we wouldn't have had a fucking problem because you wouldn't be here killing people. The one thing, too, that it gets even more difficult to pull off for a bunch of these, especially these fucking modern writers, is competency. Because they don't like... They want this whole, like, morally gray thing, and they want to pretend that their villains are competent and well thought out and intelligent, but because they themselves are not competent and not intelligent, they can't write a villain that has those traits. The villain just does seemingly bizarro things and things work out, right? They have they turn the villain into a caricature where they make no mistakes whatsoever. There's no wiggle room or anything like that. The villain just, aha! All according to Kaikeku. Alright? Real villains want power because they want to force their ways in their matter. Basically, yeah. That's what it boils down to. Yeah, exactly. Villains make more mistakes than the heroes. That's the point. 100%. And I talked about it in Kree's Discord, but, like, for Scratch, right? So this is what I put for there. And we've talked about this before. Scratch is going to be a major, major fucking villain. And a problem that can't be dealt with. Scratch is such a fucking problem that even the werewolves and everything, the shapeshifters, are after him. They're like, this is a spirit that's gone way too far. Yeah, so I have a villain in my setting, specifically that targets people. He's inspired by the Black Signal in TSW, and was a cult member who was sacrificed in ritual to become a vengeful spirit. He breaks people down, tries to gaslight them, constantly demoralizes them, mocks them, and engineers situations for them to suffer. The cult believe that in order to protect the world, there need to be a reboot, to wipe the slate clean, start fresh, and kill all those that stand against the ideal. This is without the cult understanding the actual function of the world, and even though Scratch becomes the vengeful spirit and learns the truth, he doesn't care. He still wants to hurt people, still wants to make them suffer, drive them to insanity or suicide. He's an irredeemable monster. No amount of tragic backstory will ever make his actions acceptable, nor even encouraged. He is such a vile stain that multiple different factions are actually trying to bring him down. Even the werewolves are hunting this spirit to end him, and he is mostly an antagonist for those awakened humans who can actually see the spirits and curses within the world. Scratch can weave his way through technology and use it to manipulate people, sometimes subtly, like causing interference on emergency channels, sometimes giving false information that can lead to tragedy, and usually, for the unfortunate people in the book, the Night's Watch, he'll possess something with speakers that usually starts verbally breaking them down, airing all their dirty laundry, questioning if they are really sane. Sure, this is all in their head. They have no friends. Their family abandoned them. They saw their loved ones die. The people here are figments of a diseased mind imagining things to give logic to an illness, etc., etc. Right? Again, he is a villain. He cannot be redeemed. There is no coming back for this piece of shit. Right? This spirit needs to be dealt with. Scratch is an actual monster. And he's very appropriately titled a monster by like mages and everything. The magelings, spell slingers, everyone that can do magic rightly calls Scratch a monster. I guess I'll read what we've got thus far. Yeah, but again, it's for everything. It's all living things. In fact, the whole point that he can manipulate technology was part of the point. Because when everything dies, technology will grind to a halt and it will eventually collapse and die so that he himself will die. He's that much of a fatalistic piece of shit, right? Like, his integration in technology is part of the point. He wants to die as well, but only once he's finished killing everything else. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I'll read what I have for Night's Watch thus far. We got a couple, like I said, I've only got a couple pages done. Let me also reset my thing. Boop. There we go, much better. You are not alone. The first words written in documentation passed down from the hands of those that could see the truth of the world to the next generation. Words important to remember for those that suffered at the hands of their new capability. Those words shining as a beacon for all those desperate and in need of a helping hand, for them to always remember, you are not alone. Emboldened by the very next sentence, you are not crazy. A book of revelations given to those who survived on the razor edge of tragedy, only to be greeted by sights and sounds unseen by the vast majority of the world itself. Beings straight from the imaginings of a twisted nightmare and passed down in urban legends and the preachings of the shrine tenders. You are not alone. You are not crazy. You have looked into the truth of the world and seen beyond the veil that shrouds reality itself. This book acts as a guide to understand what you have now been made privy and to help you find others that need guidance. This task is laid upon you, not because you must undertake it, but because through the writing of this book you have found a rock within the storm. May you now be a rock to others facing the same hardships you have. Such strength was needed, but not to be found as Kenneth crawled desperately under the black smoke that filled the apartment. He could still hear her gasping and crying out as he desperately tried to get to her. His lungs were burning from the acrid chemicals filling the air as the blaze got hotter. As he made it into the bedroom, he saw the bookshelf fallen over and pinning her to the bed, her lips just barely under the layer of smoke. It was only as he looked up at her now, the pain in his legs signaling the truth of the break he suffered as well, that the thought crossed his mind. We're both going to burn to death. It was a terrible and cruel thing to be put right to the edge of death in such a slow and horrid manner. What terrible things have the pair of them done to earn such a fate? The gods must truly be cruel and cold. As he scrambled to get closer to her, he cried out, "Cynthia, don't panic. I can..." His words were cut short as he felt the warmth of the floor beneath his hand, and then free fall. The board sagged and no longer could hold the weight as he fell down into the raging inferno. A scream escaping as the black smoke held at bay burst into the bedroom to suffocate the woman he loved. Down and down he fell, through the crackling and roiling flame that roared as if in rage. So loud was the fire and the rushing of air past his ears that he could not hear the sirens, nor the dousing water that signaled help had arrived. Fire would become the greatest terror in his life, a statement seemingly measured in moments as he plummeted down floor after floor. He had accepted that this was the end, and thus did not tense up nor resist. As his back hit the superheated bar, his limp body flexed and gave, sparing his spine, but searing the burn along his back. He winced and cried in agony as he fell now in a tumble, that tumble sparing him in ways unseen as the hairs along his body attempted to ignite, but were forced to smolder and smoke from the violent spin. It was in this moment, as the world turned end over end, barely seen through the now vacated gust of heated air carrying the blackened smoke up, that he saw it. A thing elongated and pulsating as if a flame itself, as its blackened eye sockets turned this way and that, changing position each time he caught a glimpse of it. And before his mind could process the sight, he hit the fallen beam that had been charred but not smoked, impacting at an angle to spin him down it like a tire. Such an impact spared him a quick death at the hands of gravity. Thus he tumbled head over heels forward, angled away from a direct impact until he hit a scorched recliner and was sent through a broken door. The impact was painful, and yet the pain made him realize his torment had not ended, and instead he found himself hit directly in the face by a massive deluge of water. The impact of the pressurized blast slowed his chaotic ragdolling spin and threw him back against the wall with a solid thump before the jet of water was drawn away. It was then his body properly announced the extent of his injuries, with skin flaking where it had been scorched, his back protesting the branding it received, and his leg throbbing in agony. Despite all this, his ears could still pick up the sound of thunderous boots scrambling towards him, and thus he tried desperately to call out. At least that was the plan until he looked around and saw it crawling away from him. A body blackened and charred, missing the lower half as it wheezed and coughed and continued to drag itself along the floor. He was a few seconds from screaming out when the heavy footfalls got closer and a voice rang out over his concerns. "Holy shit, you did hit someone!" This caused Kenneth's attention to snap over to the man, who was dressed head to toe in firefighter gear and was rushing over to the prone man. "Sir, are you all right?" Did his best to turn and answer, but his eyes caught sight of another oddity. There, standing on the firefighter's shoulder, was what appeared to be a porcelain doll with no face, carrying a lantern and shining it towards the wounded man. It wore a raincoat and hat and stood in thick waders, with an umbrella in its other hand, as if a child traversing a rainstorm. It was small enough to stand comfortably beside the man's head, and it was looking between the firefighter and the wounded man. Alive man. And the agonizingly still alive man. Let's do that. Its feet stomping on the shoulder as a weak little voice of a girl came from its lips. "Help, help, help. Protect him, Mr. Firefighter." It was as if the words were a command as the man stopped staring and rushed over to Kenneth's side, even as the groaning and creaking of the building lent evidence to its weakening state. Alright. By the way, I'll let you guys know that the twist here is going to be that after he's like they're pulling him out of the fire, it's going to jump ahead. This is the opening, like, you know, plot hook, right? This is the opening thing, and it fits in with how, like, humans awaken. But it's going to jump to him being in a mental asylum and talking to a doctor who's trying to help him. And Kenneth is basically like, he can't stop staring at the thing that's on the doctor's shoulders. That's wrapping its, like, it's... Well, I'm just going to say, it's wrapping its intestines around the doctor's throat. Because, surprise, he can now see the spirit side of the world. Very unfortunate. Especially when you're just a normal person, and now suddenly you can see all the little inner workings, and you can look behind the curtains and see the things on the other side. Ignorance is bliss, they say. Yeah, so this is basically setting up our protagonist in the story, our viewpoint character, who is Kenneth Ashwood. And again, his name, it becomes ironic because his phobia, the thing that will always like freak him the fuck out, is fire. He can't. Fire's no go. It's one of those things where if you're an awakened person, you have a phobia that is directly tied into the like near death experience you had, right? So like if you were in a massive car pileup and things like that, your phobia could be something related to like cars or other people driving or things like that. Like you can't trust certain things. One of the people he's going to meet is a father who basically like just write the prescription, man. Oh man. Now he's trying to help him. He's genuinely, the doctor's trying to help, but Kenneth can see a curse that's on his shoulders and is basically gonna spell his misfortune. And he's trying to warn the doctor, and the doctor will be like, you always give me this warning, like, but I'm fine. But as the doctor leaves, there's an accident that happens, and he gets killed. And that's kind of like the whole thing of like, yep, nope, what you're seeing is not in fact just delusions. And that's again the whole like start of it is the doctor winding up dead in the hallway. Dude, the phobia of long words being the longest word in the English language is fucking hilarious. Hold on a second. You need to see this. Okay? I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys. This is the fear of long words. Okay? Hippopotomonstrous equipped aliophobia. Do you know how fucked up that is? That's mean-spirited. That is super mean-spirited. Why don't I just call it like hypotophobia or something like that? Like shorten that bitch quite a lot, right? Yeah, Lisp has an LSP and Stutter has 3 T's. Like, yeah, so a lot of this stuff just feels like vindictive, petty namings, right? Oh God. Yeah. So, anyways, there is basically there is a character in the book who is the father. He's basically like a priest, right? He was a shrine priest, and so he calls himself. I haven't figured out his name. It's gonna be Father something. But what gets pointed out is like his phobia is his wife tried to kill him. She poisoned his food, and he ate it. And as he was like dying and watching her, like it basically causing asphyxiation and everything like that, and his body was shutting down. And she started eating the food right after because she had obviously gone off her fucking rocker and was like, this world isn't meant for us. Well, I'll see you on the other side, honey. And now his whole thing is he physically can't. He cannot have anything that he doesn't make himself now. Like, he can't, if he can't prepare the food, he freaks the fuck out. So it doesn't matter what happens. Father has to be the one that makes the food. He needs to be there. He needs to make the food. Otherwise, he can't function. And that's part of like this whole thing of, again, you aren't meant to awaken. This is an unfortunate loophole where your body's soul was expecting death, so started the process of spiritification, but you didn't die. It's a little bit of a whoopsie-daisy, right? Your body, your soul, was preparing for the death of your body. It was going to put you in the spirit realm. You were going to become a spirit realm like you were supposed to be. The problem is you didn't die. But now you are a half spirit. So now you can actually see the spiritual side of the world. Yeah, so Kenneth Ashwood, who's our viewpoint character, his whole fear is fire, obviously. His girlfriend, well, I'm going to have his fiancée burned to death, right? And he was going to burn to death and fall and everything like that. Like, he prepared himself mentally, like, this is it, I'm going to burn to death. And now I'm falling, like, floor after floor after floor, because the floor caved in. The floor gave way. Yeah, fate had other plans. And again, like I said, hopefully people can understand, like, the physics of how he survived a fall from that height. Because if you can just shift your momentum away, you can survive a fall from damn near any height. It's just all about physics and how you land. And I don't mean as like, oh, so, land on a perfectly flat surface, but tuck and roll when you do. No. That's still way too much momentum. That's bringing you straight down. Like, sure, you'll lessen it a little bit. But no, this was because he hit the pole, which started spinning him, already creating more air resistance than if he was just falling straight, head first down. So he's already creating air resistance. And then he hits the beam, the fallen beam, that is angled down. So he hits that. That's going to hurt a bit. But it rolls him like a tire down the beam. That is channeling a shit ton of that downward momentum into side momentum. Going on the vertical axis instead, right? Or sorry, the horizontal axis instead of vertical. And then, of course, he hits the recliner and then gets knocked through the door. Like, just slams and breaks right through the door. And ends up right into where the water jet of the firefighters is currently, like, dousing the bottom floors. To basically, like, stop them from destabilizing more. And also, so they can get their firefighters in there to try to start saving people. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. That becomes the whole problem, though, is, like, the whole, like, can you actually bleed off the momentum? And this is why, like, I hope people can, like, rationalize, like, no, he should be dead. He got so fucking lucky. He is crazy lucky. Oh, yeah. Hey, again, he accepted his fate. So he wasn't, like, trying to be all stiff and everything like that. He accepted that, no, I'm going to fall to my death into this raging inferno. It's over. This is where I die. This is where he accepted his fate beforehand, too. But he struggled to try. He's like, I'll resist a bit, but my leg is fucking broken. My fiancée is pinned to the bed by the fallen bookshelf. And there is smoke to the point where, she's coughing and hacking and wheezing. Her mouth is barely below the smoke. It's fucking over. Like, we're burning to death in this fire. Like, why? Like, what did we ever do to deserve this? Now, the point behind the fire is that there is a point for why the fire happened. And he's just an unfortunate victim of, like, circumstances. Again, it's not a normal fire. You don't have a fire that gets this quickly out of control and does this much damage normally, right? But he wasn't a target. His fiancée wasn't a target. There's nothing special about him before. The fire was not meant for him. The fire was not some divine punishment. Yep, it's just an arsonist. And not even the correct fucking building. But I'll explain that when the fire gets explained. Like, he wasn't even supposed to be that building. The arsonist was paid to douse a different building, and he fucked up. So again, it was just the random whims of fate. His survival was pure and total luck. And again, that's why he's awakened now, because his soul was like, okay, we're dying here, so I'll start the process of bringing you to the spirit realm. And then he didn't die. So the soul's like, well, that's egg on my face. Well? I got good news, bad news. Good news, you're still alive. Bad news, you can now see the spirit side, and you're not supposed to see this. Yeah, so the first spirit was obviously a flame spirit. That's the first thing he saw. The second spirit he saw was a spirit of death. Because, again, they are drawn to when when there's death in the air, they get drawn to it. They feed on that whole, life-ending thing. And then the third spirit, he finds a little helpful well-wisher spirit. That's the thing that's on the firefighter's shoulder. The little girl in the rain. Man. It'll be fun to write this. I guess I could go over what we've written for Seekers of Redemption as well. Because I did write a bit in that, too. We're up to, 14 pages in Seekers of Redemption now. We originally just had the opening sizzler, like the opening hook. Which I kind of want to extend out more, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I think the Night's Watch one is going to be a little lengthy for an opening, but I want those first few pages to do a thing. I don't want it to be like a full chapter, but the first few pages, to get people like, do you want to read this book? Okay. Nah, I can't work that way. Like, I tried. It just doesn't feel as good. I tried that with His Majesty the Dragon. It just doesn't feel as good. We have so many fucking demos to get through as well. I'll do some Secrets of Redemption first. Let's do this. Alright, Chapter 1, Sleepless as a Grave Robber. Darkness was a constant companion that stretched on as if an eternity. Each breath he took in that abyss came at the whim of a repeated hammer strike, finding forged steel. No matter how much he tossed and turned, he could not see from whence the smithing came, and yet it was a constant and steady, a rhythm matching to his needs before he heard the words that resounded. each word booming as if spoken in a scream, yet with a careful enunciation and calm, nearly cruelly cold demeanor. Desecration begets damnation, and thus the wicked find themselves not upon the shores of the divine, but in the jaws of the smith to be smited. The hammering of the forge got louder and louder, the pace maintaining the same monotonous rhythm, until at last he could see the eyes. Those eyes that were just a whim of imagination at first, for there was no light, and yet he swore he could see the outline of them getting closer, colorless and blank, until he was staring straight into those that peered directly into his own. His breathing caught in his throat. His throat, and he nearly gagged as he desperately tried to catch a breath, and found no air to sate his need. It was then he saw the teeth as the eyes moved away, and the great jaws opened to reveal the terror within. These were not the teeth of a man, but a great beastly predator, sharp and wicked in all countenance. Between all those teeth he could see millions upon millions, numbers far beyond counting, screaming and writhing in agony, and reaching twisted and broken limbs out as if begging desperately for him to save them. It was all he could do to try to scream as the jaws suddenly snapped closed upon him as well, and then light came to his eyes as he bolted upright and screamed at the top of his lungs, much to the extreme surprise of those gathered near him. One woman went so far as to stumble backwards and hit the long-aged wood floor with a thud as the two men both jumped up and cried out various expletives. The closest man drew his hands up as if to defend himself, while the other took a couple steps backwards until he placed a hand over his face. That'd be funny, vamps being afraid of forges and smiths. Oh, they might be. Holy feck! I near a shite swore 'tis be the biggin come to strike me heart. I nae think it were possible. Never heard the like o' it. The man's accent was thick, and he was even nodding his head slowly before he turned and then offered a hand out to the woman that remained near motionless on the floor. Ye all terror, Cassie. Ye all terror, Cassie. Oh, God. Slowly Vincent tried to calm his breathing, which came as if a diesel in runaway, until at last the man that stood ready to defend himself stepped up and grabbed his shoulder. Relax. Relax. You nearly scared the shit out of us, if that were possible. Judging by the state of things, you're a fresh little grave dodger, ain't you? Vincent was not taking in the words at first, as he was still in the process of just that, trying to make sense of what in the hells he had just experienced. It was only at the touch that he finally turned to look at the man and really acknowledge what was being said. I'm sorry, what did you say? Also, who? Where am I? And who are you people? The man currently comforting, for there wasn't a better word for it, simply offered a smile which bore the proof of things in its visage. Take that as a yes. Had the dream, did you? The hammering and the big scary jaws? Defilement begets damnation. This did not instill confidence in the wayward detective, but instead made him focus on the man more intently than ever before. Who are you? The details were coming to him. Extended canines, pallid skin, well-defined musculature, slight discoloration on the end of each finger and knuckles, along with matted hair. These were details that the other two seemed to share as well. The main difference being in the colors of the hair and eyes. Those set eyes all seemed dull, as if the spark of life wasn't in them. Well, we are like you, friend, or rather, like you are now. Congratulations, you just got volunteered into a new life with a lot of shitty rules and the constant threat of oblivion over your head. You know, I think I'm going to change something here. I'm going to change their eyes. I think dull and lifeless fits better for smilers and everything like that, because the sin like has basically like taken their soul. Here the soul is under threat, so I kind of want to make more emphasis at the soul being under threat. I'm going to change that. Instead of being dull, seems strangely vibrant, as if desperately clinging to life. Yeah. I want it to be like there's like a strange vibrancy to their eyes, as if the soul should be in desperation. That's what Cordysoth wants, more than it being like, oh, your soul is resigned to its fate. No, no, no. Your soul as a vampire should be completely fucking desperate to stay alive. Now that you know what your fate will be. Indeed. He really is freshly out of the grave. This was the second instance of such an idea, and thus Vincent looked at his own hands, still seeing the warmth and color in them before raising a brow to look at the others. Ah, I know what you're thinking. I seem fine. These people are crazy. Well, that's because your body hasn't caught up to the fact you're dead. The detective's breathing came rapidly to him, yet this also clued him in on another aspect. Only the accented man seemed to be breathing, but he did so at such a low rate as to be unfeasible, while the other two didn't bother at all. How can you be sure? The question actually made the man standing next to him lean back a little in surprise. Well, that's new. Never had someone just calmly ask before. Most people freak out, start calling bullshit this, bullshit that. Try to look for something to defend themselves with. You and the woman aren't breathing at all. Your nostrils aren't moving. Your chest isn't rising and falling. Only that man is, but his pace is so slow it makes me wonder why bother. Once again, the man was surprised and even let out a whistle. One of the first instances of actually exhaling anything beyond the words used. Oh, pretty good. Truth, we're breathing just a little. Need the air to form the words, you know. But we don't need the oxygen to keep going. Consider that one of the positives stacked against the mountain of negatives you now share with us. Though I am curious, you some kind of detective or investigator? You got good senses. This gave him another clue. They hadn't found his badge or ID, otherwise that wouldn't have been a question. That or perhaps they were testing him. So it was time to test back. Yeah. Name's Victor Holloway. I'm a private investigator. This is when the woman spoke up quickly before the man standing nearest continued. More like was. Also Holloway. Must be a coincidence. He certainly didn't like to hear that, but he would simply play into such an angle if pressed on the matter. Ah, well, that does explain some things, Victor. If you can believe it, my name is Jabora. Old-fashioned these days, but very common in my time. Most just call me Jeb. That over there is Stacy and Thomas. With his free hand, he offered it out for the detective to shake, who did so to keep up the current friendly atmosphere that was going on. Well, I would say pleasure to meet you all, but, well, given the topic of discussion, I guess those guys really did kill me. Once again, the woman spoke up. You came in with enough holes in you to give cheese a run for its money. Yeah, sorry, Victor, but you didn't make it. You can think of this as a purgatory, though. Gods have a strange sense of humor. At those words, both Thomas and Stacy looked at each other nervously, as if the very mention of such a thing felt risky. Seems whoever decided to turn you didn't keep you at the scene of your death. We found you in an alleyway, holes in the bite. I suppose we're dancing around the issue now. Turned into what exactly? Vincent didn't want to admit he had a bad feeling, but such feelings were often standing in the way of getting at the truth of things. something he all too well needed to confront and overcome to better do his job and out of respect for the cases he worked. How much do you know about vampires? This made all three of the people with him smile, all showing the elongated canines. What, like the blood-sucking nobles with the stakes and garlic and holy water? Okay, that was actually more surprising than he'd expected. Saren was not a world that was foreign to the concept of magic, and there were even some countries that were considered too dangerous for habitation. Though inhabited, they were all the same, because of the restless dead. It was often a critical trap in thinking that because one fantastical element existed in the world, such as moving skeletons and zombies, then all other aspects must be true too. Oh, by the gods, don't get me started on the misconceptions. Really, what is the entertainment industry good for? Giving people the wrong impression and keeping us better concealed, that's for sure. Jeb offered a laugh and then lightly patted Vincent on the chest. Well, the truth is all over the place. Some get shockingly close to the correct answer, but a lot of misconceptions are out there. Nobility, for example. Originally, the upper echelon didn't even consider themselves nobles and were instead clinging to the old concept of magic. I guess minor divergence, but all originator vampires are mages. Anyways, they would normally take titles like Archmage or Grand Scholar. It wasn't until books really made their appearance that they decided to rebrand and accept the misconception of nobility to better shield themselves. Kind of funny in the long run. As for stakes, the key is damaging the heart. The only organ that works, and I use that term loosely, in our bodies. So it doesn't need to be some blessed wood or anything special. If it hits the heart, you are ash. Silver, though, nasty stuff. Keep well away from silver at all times. It's a horrific, acidic thing to us. Garlic? Surprisingly effective against us. Not because of being garlic, mind you. Part of the curse you now wear branded on your soul is that food really fucks with us badly. The more potent the food, the more it fucks with us. And garlic being so pungent and concentrated makes it ideal for really throwing a monkey wrench into the works. But onions, peppers, spices in general are really bad for us. Once you dilute the concentration, though, you dilute the effects. Just don't try to eat food. Ever. Trust me. It will feel like you're dying. Force you to convulse and dump a load of pain throughout your body in a hurry. Vincent could do little, but nod along. A strange sensation as his brain was already trying to dissect the words and catalog them away. It felt as if he was on a new case, a puzzle needing to be solved to catch the bad guys at the end of it. Thus he listened very intently and carefully to each word being said. And what about holy water? Again, Stacy spoke up with a shrug. We got no fucking idea. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but Stacy is right on this one. It isn't that we don't try to figure these things out, but stuff like holy water or not being able to enter certain buildings confounds all of our kind since the beginning of vampire existence. We've seen priests bless water right before our eyes, and it does nothing but get us wet. Then you watch some dude in a trench coat pull out a vial, drink some for a blessing, and throw it on us, and it's like a fucking explosion goes off. But it's just water, not even specially filtered or anything. Scariest one I saw was some vagabond-looking woman. Jeremy went to feed on her, and she simply pulled out a bottle of what we thought was hooch. When she splashed it on him, he burst into flames. So that vagrant had holy water with her and knew to use it on Jeremy, too. All three of them cringed at the very idea of it. By the way, again, this will be just a fun thing for, like, people that would know more about the world and setting, right? Of, like, how does this work? One, it's holy water blessed by the spirits. Like, you can be a holy man, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, it's the whole, like, thing in Castlevania, where, right, the preacher that caused all the tragedy, the demon walks into the church, and he's like, You can't be here. This is the house of God. God? This is an empty box. God is not here. Because that preacher is a piece of shit, right? He wasn't an actual faithful man. But its whole thing here is that the thing for like readers of all the other books would be like, oh, so those were awakened. Those were people that had awakened. So they can see vampires. They can actually see what they are. Oh God, yeah, that speech. Yeah. Holy isn't property of profane, yeah. God does not love us, and he does not love you. But I love you. Excuse me? We wouldn't be here without you. Let me give you a kiss. Oh, what a fitting ending to that piece of shit. The detective filed that away as a mystery, but came to the conclusion that it was best to avoid any water-based attacks in the future. Jeb, meanwhile, began to step back and head for a dresser nearby as Vincent looked over his body, even drawing his hands up to feel at the holes still in his chest and stomach that did not bleed. Okay, water. Be very cautious. Okay, water. Be very cautious. What was I going for the sentence? There we go. Okay, water. Be very cautious of it. Though, I am curious. You said some buildings we can't go in? As he asked the question, Thomas was whispering something to Stacy before he gave a nod of his head and departed the room. Meanwhile, Jeb was still searching through a dresser as he answered. Yeah. Again, same with the holy water. We have no idea why or how it works. Some houses we can go in and out of freely. Others, it's like you slam face first into a glass wall that gives you a hell of a jolt of pain and kicks you back. Thousands of years of investigations to uncover why. Not a single one of our kind has ever figured it out. It isn't the style of construction, the materials used, the function of the building, the colors. We got nothing. After a bit more rummaging, he came back and laid some clothing out onto the bed for the detective to take. What happened to my old clothes? Filled with holes and caked in blood. Need a good cleaning and repairs if you ever want to use them again. Best not to risk being seen in them anyways. After all, you can't go back to your old life. Don't even think of trying. Trust me, it will never end well. This was the first time he had even thought of it. It was as if the mere fact that he was conscious and thinking had cast the idea of seeing his family again back into the realm of mundane certainty. The woman this time came closer to the bed and leaned over, staring directly at his face, which drew his focus now to her. Don't even think about it. It is better for your family to mourn your loss than be given the poison of your continued survival. This is a lesson hard learned from hundreds of others across the entirety of history, to the point we now know for sure that there is something built into the curse to force us to target our loved ones for feeding. We need blood to sustain ourselves and continue existing. This is not mercy, but designed desperation. Blood from animals will work, but is bland and dull. Blood from people is the only source that sates the hunger. Blood from loved ones is said to be the most exceptional taste of them all. You understand? He didn't need to speak on it. Just a slight nod of his head, which Stacy returned before he focused back on the wounds in his body. Oh, well said. Now, as for the currently holy situation you find yourself in, we'll teach you how to repair your body. Awfully nice of a curse to allow that to happen. It's a loophole. You'll find mages are clever little bastards. Not enough to heed all the warning signs, but that may be down to outright arrogance and curiosity. Vincent dressed himself as he listened to the man's words and began to get up out of the bed he had yet to move from. Warning signs? Word has it from some of the kings and queens that when starting to research a specific ritual, you start getting nightmares, voices whispering into your ear, random misfortunes around you, basically all but being told not to do it, and yet... Jeb made a flourish of his hands, drawing them together and then down before spreading them out as if to indicate his current state and their surroundings. So there's a king and queen in all this? Those are the top of the food chain. Most are the originators, but some take the title after breaking away and forming their own organizations. The detective checked the fit on his clothing, a mundane task to keep his thoughts grounded as he tried to take in the absurdity of what he was hearing. It was a useful skill when trying to discover the truth in the words spoken, for the innocent were not all automata, and oftentimes did stupid things that made them sound guilty. Has anyone ever tried to be the very top? This is when Vincent turned his focus towards Stacy, who had been staring at him for a while. She even bit her lower lip, and her eyes were tracing over the detective, which made Jeb turn to look at her and call out. Stacy, you all good there? This at first did not bring a response beyond a simple, uh-huh, which made Jeb cough a bit and stare more intently at her. Stacy, remember what it is. Don't give in to the compulsion. Yeah, stay the fuck away from mages. Yep. What? Oh, fuck, excuse me. With no further fanfare, she simply left the room, hurriedly exiting and closing the door. Compulsion? We'll discuss that later. For now, to your original question. They've tried, and it never ever ends well. We have even tried organizing under a big umbrella to try and keep our existence secret and enforce some kind of rules to make that easier, but those never last. The original was known as the Accords, and it worked for a time. Then it collapsed into scheming and infighting. Even lost a couple originators back then. Every single time it's tried with the originators at the head, it starts well and ends in disaster. There are no exceptions. Which is what makes us believe there's another aspect of the curse at play. So, no organizational force stands at all? Today it's known as the Coterie, and was founded by a group of kings and queens that aren't originators of the curse. This has been a mixed bag, but it's at least functional. Lots of internal killings for power, though, so regional nobles are a bit tense with each other. Originators will check in as a token gesture, but the Coterie cannot dictate to those not under the umbrella, and they've tried, believe me. So the originator houses are kind of free to do as they please. So are all vampires a part of a house? To keep his mundane groundings, the detective was starting to straighten out the bed he had been in and tidy it up as he processed the information. No. All are part of a bloodline, though. And that bloodline does come from a noble house, but houses fall from threats internal and external. Oh no. Ah! Oh! Oh, that was a sharp pain. Holy fuck. Thank God that wasn't as bad of a sneeze as the fucking one on Monday. Holy shit. Jeb waited until the man finished making the bed before he extended a hand out towards the door like an invitation. For example, this place isn't associated with any house or any bloodline. We're more just a collection of kindred souls just trying to survive in the world. Is there a difference between the bloodlines? Is there a point to make the distinction? This question made Jeb laugh as the pair of them left the room, exiting from one rather shabby place into a well-used hallway with dirty windows, designed to block as much light as possible, which made Vincent point at them. Yep to both. Sun is a no-go for us. We don't burst into a colorful explosion like in the movies, but we rot. Very rapidly. It needs to be direct sunlight though, so face coverings, hat, long coats, sunglasses for the eyes can be used for traversing daylight, but well, as you may imagine, you would stand out like a sore thumb. If you're desperate, you can use alleyways, the sewers, whatever you can find during the day to keep sunlight from touching you. Now as for bloodlines, there are massive differences, namely around the idiosyncrasies of the originator strain. Stacy, for example, comes from the Ulyssia line, so she has a natural affinity for body manipulation techniques. But the curse also amplifies the negative traits of the originator, which we are now saddled with. In her case, she has incredibly lustful thoughts, and has to stop herself from engaging in stalker behavior, especially for creative types. Apparently, Ulyssia was a muse and lover in antiquity, and thus her compulsions now act as a noose around those that share her blood. Before you ask, my line comes from Victari. I can send my unnatural strength and speed into overdrive, but the line is well known for its incredible rage and exceptional, near fanatical obsessiveness. The man that turned me did so out of spite, actually, because I was a very even-handed mediator back when I was alive, and he took exception to my calm and collected demeanor. Hence, once again, the man offered the hand flourish, and even let out a chuckle as he indicated himself. Certainly petty, to say the least. Absolutely. Took me near 100 years to stop exploding at every little thing or seething with rage all the time. Corpse before you is after years of dedication and discipline. Down the hall, the pair went until they came to a staircase leading down to the floor below. So you said she can manipulate her body, and you can enhance your strength and speed. So each bloodline has special powers? Correct. And as I said, different flaws. In time you'll come to understand what ones you have. Usually takes a couple weeks, but they will start becoming more and more insistent. Not to say that bloodlines can't share the same flaws. Victari becomes obsessive, but so are House Thurin. They also are arrogant as well, as all get out. I feel bad for David. Man can't catch a break. He's still trying to master that compulsion, but he usually catches himself these days. If you meet him and he sounds like he's being a condescending prick, well, he is, but he doesn't mean to, and will usually snap out of the state quickly. What if you have no idea what... Don't worry, you'll figure it out in time. Shame your patron didn't stick around, but we don't know the details of why they chose you or why they weren't there to guide you. That was the oddity of it. He couldn't place who his patron would even be. With his failing eyesight and his death throes back at the attack, he couldn't even tell properly what sex they were, or even distinguish the sounds of their voice properly. I'll give her that second properly. Relax. You don't need to understand everything out of the gate. You have a long time to understand these things. Well, unless something or someone grants you the final death. The pair continued into the second floor, and even started to walk past a kitchen that looked to be in a museum-like state, with a fine layer of dust upon it. The pair carried on outside in the dark of night, where they could see Thomas, now standing with a flat cap and out near a barn. Apparently they had brought him to some farmhouse outside of the city. Speaking of, we have a lot of dangers. Not just from people, but, well, not every imagined monster the entertainment industry cooks up are real, but some, well, those some are very much real and very dangerous. Aye? You talking to him about the wolves? The accent was one that demanded Vincent's focus, as if he may lose the words in it if he didn't give it his full attention. It was in this that he had to ask the next question. 2 things. What wolves, and why are we out here? We're out here because you will need to feed, and then we could train you a little on how to recover from injuries using the blood you get. As for the wolves, well, first problem we face are the shapeshifters. Though, I suppose both are shapeshifters, but understand one is not like the other. The shapeshifters themselves are exceptionally dangerous. You ever heard of Smiling Wolf Studios? Though, to be fair, a lot of them don't know that those are actually real. Right? Like, why would you don't want to go poking around the wolf's nest, right? So if you just see anything that has wolf in the name or something like that, a lot of vampires will use caution. It's same thing like, because, well, I'll let him explain it, actually. Detective turned to face Jeb, who offered a slight shrug, already anticipating the question. So much so he repeated damn near the same question back. Werewolves are real? Are werewolves real? The 2 questions were so close that Jeb simply let out a chuckle before nodding his head. Indeed they are. Same with were-ravens. Some even claim there are were-sharks out in the waters. They aren't like what you would expect either. They're super durable, but they have special powers. House Thurn has been trying to research them to find countermeasures, but they can't understand the magics these shapeshifters use, and they're incredibly proficient with them. Worse still, there is a subset of... Well, if you see someone smiling at you, and their eyes look even more dead than ours do, run. Even more dead than a corpse. More dead than a corpse. Run. Good news is those smiling ones are seemingly at odds with the normal shapeshifters. Bad news, both groups hate us with a passion, but the smiling ones are sadistic and cruel freaks. Now, the shapeshifters are... Think of them like jailers of a prison. They protect a lot of natural areas, and they forcibly cull vampires a lot. If they make an exception, it is for a select few, which brings us to the more subtle and treacherous wolves. Aye, he means them right bastards, House Vantar. To fucking wolfies in shaped clothing. Tay is. Jeb just nodded his head and pointed squarely at Vincent, who waited eagerly for further details. True on all accounts. House Vantar are, as far as we know, the only vampiric house that has been double cursed. They can change their shape and form at will. Their higher nobilities, like dukes and marshals, the like, are so good at it, they can do seemingly impossible shit like turn to mist or swarms of rats. The big thing to be concerned about, though, is they turn into werewolves too. Smaller and more emaciated looking, but even still. That seems... How do they do that? No fucking idea. From the ones that get tortured, they claim it's a curse their originator had before Cordysoth stamped him with this one. Cordysoth? The name seemed completely alien to him, which made Jeb nodding in rapid succession all the more confusing. More on Big K later. But to speak in the briefest sense, he's the god that cursed us. Turns out the dragons were right all along. Now, as for House Vantar, shapeshifting is their specialty. But what makes them dangerous is their helpful nature, and that they help the shapeshifters far more than fellow vampires. Apparently, some of the shapeshifters call them tomb wolves. We'll talk more about this later. But the basic premise is, if you see a shapeshifter of any kind, do your best not to engage. If it's a Vantar asshole, they're likely marked. Before you ask, we don't know how, but the shapeshifters can mark us, and track that mark to hotspots to be purged. If it's not a Vantar, then the situation is far worse. Not even an hour after waking up, and it turns out he had mortal enemies. Yet the fact the shapeshifter seemed more passive towards these Vanter people made him curious. Is it just Vanter that the shapeshifters treat differently? Jeb nodded to Thomas, who began to open up the barn door before turning back to the detective's question. No, there are some amongst our kind that seek forgiveness from Cortisoth, to spare their soul from his jaws. Some fresh turns kill themselves immediately, hoping that doing so will earn reprieve. But obviously we don't know if that works or not. I am kind of on that redemptive path. Not for lack of want or will, but I feel like I need to fully master the compulsions and show I'm working hard to be better. From what few texts I know of Cortisoth, he seems to look favorably on those that toil and labor to improve. Swinging back towards the original point, the shapeshifters seem to have a sense for these things and will oftentimes spare our kind that are trying. Well, to die with dignity and our soul intact, to be blunt. No idea how they decide that, or if it's some twisted game to them, but the Church of the Redemptions exists and is well known. It hasn't suffered a culling once, but I don't know. It feels too formulaic to me, but to each their own. As he finished his explanation, the muffled sound of some beast came from within the barn, and Thomas ushered them inside. Vincent was slow to approach, and was still processing everything that had happened to him, even wrestling with the idea that this was all an exceptionally elaborate joke. For now, though, he was willing to humor it. After all, the holes in his body were sure as the hell's real. When stepping into the barn, he saw over a dozen cows resting, with one having been corralled off to the side on its own. Is this for you to feed? Absolutely. There are 7 of us, 8 with you now, that call this farmstead home. For now, you're just going to take a little, get your blood levels up, and heal those injuries you have. Unfortunately, after that, we'll have to take you into the town to feed on someone properly. I won't kill any. No need to worry there. Killing doesn't help the situation. Your would-be feed source will just get tired afterwards and won't remember the details. It's like a haze, a trauma response, as it were. Well, they won't even find the bite marks, but if you actually kill the person, well, bodies lead to investigations, and worse, from all the records of it, the shapeshifters could tell if someone is killed in such a manner. This made the detective blink a few times before he furrowed his brow. Is that the only thing that matters? Of course not. But you'll find it harder to hold on to what makes you, as it were, if you start killing. Really, it should be do not murder. You can defend yourself all you like. No one says you have to be a doormat, but if you start just offing innocent people, you can imagine what that does to your psyche. The older you get with this curse, the harder it is to feel that human connection. Another wonderful intention of the curse is evolving nature. If you don't work to maintain your connection to people, be it human, dwarf, elf, or any other, you will succumb to the malaise and apathy. Turns you into a sociopathic monster, then quickly into a suicidal one. Wouldn't keeping in touch with... Sorry, Vic. Quickest way to absolutely ruin yourself is to keep in touch with the living you knew before. The need to feed will draw you in closer until you can't resist. And then when they are dead, well, what do you think happens after? And Jeb came over again and patted Vincent on the shoulder before Thomas came to the opposite shoulder. Aye, laddie, nae need for that nastiness. When we go out into the town proper, we'll keep you disguised. Nae want any o' them past relations catching wise. Always someone lurking round to peer, right quick to sneak 'em and suck. The words took their time to burrow in before the detective turned his head and raised a brow. What peer? Ye daft laddie, to peer. Wellerman's Wharf. This made Vincent shrug some. No idea. What city are we near? St. Francis. I wouldn't call it much of a city. It finally dawned on everyone before the detective could even speak. Holy shit, I am at least 2 hours away from where I died? Are we in Havish? Wait, so when we found you in that alley, you weren't even in this fucking state when you took the big sleep? Why would... Actually, this works out. You're already far from where you were living, right? Vincent was scrambling with so many questions now. He had to table them and instead just focus on giving a nod in response. Well, great. You won't have to be as subtle. Though I would recommend you move to the other coast of Rosentia personally, but... yeah, whoever moved you did you a huge favor. But why would they do that and then just leave me there? Effectively, nay, Victor. Proper mystery, Tatby. Never heard the like of it myself. But, well, we are vampires, so safe to say life can be proper strange, tay. Slowly the pair directed Vincent into the pen with the isolated cow and began instructing him on how to feed. It was a strange sensation to be giving pointers on how best to bite the neck of something, but he had to remind himself it was a cow. It also helped that he was hungry enough to try anything, and thus followed diligently. It wasn't until he took hold of the heifer that he suddenly felt his body lurch into action, turning its head and biting into its neck as if a long-practiced routine. He then immediately began slurping down the thick liquid, while he heard the voices call out to him. 3 mouthfuls. Don't take any more than that. As the man spoke, he stepped into the pen as well and was ready to grab him in case he couldn't control himself. Fortunately for all involved, the detective was more than capable, and thus drew back for the cow and swallowed the last mouthful he had. Huh, well fucking done. Many are so eager to sate the need, they can't help but keep trying. Yeah, well. Vincent wiped his mouth and shivered some, for even as the blood went in and felt nice, he still had that aching sensation in his stomach. I see what she meant by not satisfying. Correct. Thank the curse for that. We can use animal blood to stave off starvation, but that aching hunger will remain until you feed on a person. Double kicker, the health of the person matters. If you get some foot in the grave, land well, diabetic, it won't satisfy near as much as a college triathlete stud. Almost trying to set you up to get caught. But we'll explain some loopholes that will help. First, let's get those wounds treated. And that's what we have thus far. There you go, Chad. It was going to be a demo day, but instead we started doing stuff with the writing. And I do want to get back more and more into writing. Yeah, we've got a lot of demos still. And I want to gear shift us into what seems to be like a goofy one. We're going to do this goofy one first. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the previews into Seekers of Redemption and Night's Watch. I might need to rename the Night's Watch, though. Because it makes me think too much of A Song of Ice and Fire, you know what I mean? Maybe I'll do, like, Watchful Eyes or something like that. Yeah. In the meantime, welcome everyone to Night of the Living Bubble! Rugs, rags, and hand soaps. Okay. Well, I guess. The Repo Depot. Okay. Alright, well, let's clock in. Notice, Wi-Fi password, recall items. Okay, hang on. Mouse sensitivity is a little scuffed. Hey, this is a bit charming, but I would probably clean this up a little more, you know. But this is pretty charming as like a thing. Whoa! Everything just suddenly get really fucking bright. Was it that bright before? I feel like the brightness got scuffed. Hang on a second. No, it was that bright before. I didn't remember it being that bright. That's because I was looking this way. That is so fucking bright. Nothing will ever top Warehouse LLC. I know. I know. Also, what would be fun in Night's Watch is that there's going to be a character there who he will be helping them, but he's going to kind of drift away. He was originally working with the NDA, and this is kind of like going to set the time period for when Night's Watch takes place. But he was working for the NDA, and they got attacked by a private military group that called themselves Grey Wolf. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. And he's like, he doesn't know why, but when he was all shot up and everything like that, the Grey Wolf guys patched him up, and he can't figure out why in the fuck they would do that. I'll proceed to play the tutorial. Let's do it. For the safety of all employees, when handling, firing, and upkeeping, practice shooting bubble targets with a left click. Okay, so there's an actual score thing here, okay? Let's try it. Oh. Oh. Store your health to full with Viren chips to open the door. Remember using shift. Oh! Beds and shit. Rugs, rags, and hand soaps. Press G to use a soda. Okay, so it's like a grenade. Stuff to launder with. Neat. Oh. You hear that sound effect, chat? Whoop. Alright, totally not man killing. This is an upgrade arrow. These indicate upgrades for your nail gun. Press E on any object with these on them to collect them. A mouse can help you cycle through your collected upgrades. A little bit of crowd control. Got it. Whoop. Destroy the bubble machines with your nail gun to stop enemies from being born. Destroy all of them, the level is cleared. Destroy this bubble machine to leave the tutorial. Okay. With the battery upgrade. Search for the spawners, okay. By order of Dr. Dogman, PhD, this store is now the official testing ground of Experiment 1 of 3. Please vacate. Where's my trusty duty nail gun? I can't see. I feel like the game broke. I feel like the game broke here. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I feel like something happened. It's so bright I can't see. Something happened. That's much better. Oh my god, the brightness did shatter itself into fucking oblivion, didn't it? That's a little bubble gator. Whoa! Ah! I've got an army of boobles! Ow! Oh my god! Ow, okay, so don't step on those. Those hurt. There's one spawner left somewhere. Whoa! There it is. Ah! Die! What? A bubble gone. Jeff the Bubble Dragon. Oh my god. He's gone through the ceiling. It's not fair. Oh shit. Die, Jeff, die! Die, Jeff, die! Yeah!
Clean up aisle 5.
Ooh! That was cute. Oh no! Enter the carnival. Has the whole world been bubbled? Hold on, Doc, you bubbled everything. The Oracle. Okay. Yeah, short and sweet little demo. Short and sweet. Adorable. Okay, next demo. Next demo, let's do... I have so many fucking choices. That's gonna be more of a slow burn, so we'll wait on that one. Let's do Forgotten Eras. Chat, can you believe there's 3,388 demos? 3,388 demos. It's called Forgotten Eras. Work in progress, visuals and mechanics are not final. New game. Oh, damn it, I gave it away. Oh, ignore that splash screen.
Avena, what a perilous vision. I saw myself locked in a world where the Baba Yaga hut was freely walking in the forest, and her dark powers were overwhelming the kingdom. Yet, as the darkness closed in before my final moment, a hand reached out and pulled me from the murk. I had a feeling that it was you. Tell me more about it.
Whoa, shit.
I can't understand why the creatures of the kingdom had so much rage.
A cabal of treacherous shamans conspires to seize the arcane power of the kingdom. They aim to strip the land of its magic, subjugate its people, and manipulate all entities for their sinister purposes. What you witnessed was a glimpse of our failure.
But the shamans are powerful wizards. How can I go against them on my own?
So yeah, I know this is gonna be very much like Slavic mythology and everything. So
The forces of nature stand by your side, my child. They have been with you since the first time you drew breath in this world. The symbol you wear on your bandana, do you know where it comes from?
This old thing? I've had this for as long as I can remember.
yep.
The symbol you wear carries the rune of courage, etched with the blessing of Veles. It is both a blessing and a key, binding you to its trials. Veles has foreseen this perilous time in our world. He has prophesied that only someone with a pure spirit can harness the power of the rune, endure its test, and unravel its secrets. Go now, and remember, you are not alone in this struggle.
Itchy ear, sorry. Itchy, itchy, scratchy ear.
I start to remember this part of the forest in my dream. I hear the howling. Yes, it must be the Grey Wolf.
Okay, so can I? Okay. I'm nearby ledges. Oh, and then crouch under. Press in the air to dash, okay. Alright, so he auto grabs it, that's nice. Oh.
Mushrooms start attacking me. Evil presence pulses in my soul. I can feel its arcane power. I must find a way to climb up there. The branch above me might open a new path. I need something sharp. Oh, clarinets, I have to find it! Wait, where's the bridge?
Hold it right there. The rune of Veles is not in one place. It seems you are not allowed to pass the bridge before you find it.
Shamans have unleashed shadows upon our land, and Grey Wolf keeps calling me. I hear his voice. Tell me, Avena, will you lend your strength to my cause?
By the bond of river and man, I am summoned. Though my power is but a ripple, I shall bestow upon you the leap of the willow, the gift of Bogatir's bound. Proceed with care. You may encounter perils in heights, unlike the ones you come across on land.
Ah, that will be immensely helpful.
Find the Grey Wolf and bring me runes that Kolobok hides in Leshimine forest area. And some of them are hidden in the Forgotten Castle. Remember, wisdom guides those who seek it. Farewell for now,
Might as well look this way first.
I remember this house. We were playing there. It's something wrong with this place.
Whoa! Whoops. There we go. I hit it too quickly. What's over
I
here?
need to break these boxes. I have to find another way.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, the loading screen kind of gave away.
You have awakened from a dream that blurred the lines of reality, and through your courage, you have brought the Grey Wolf back from the brink.
Where are you? I can't see you!
I'll
I
remain
will
close.
remain closer, guiding
long
you
delay.
through the mysteries that lie ahead.
Oh, Velis, please guide me. I must act swiftly, before it is too late.
Whew! Ah! Fuck are you, hombre? Fuck are you? Bastard bitch. Bastard bitch, shit fuck. Ah! 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 Spiky ouchies. Spiky ouchies.
Ivan! I'm here. I'm trapped.
Welcome, chat. Welcome. Totally can't get why I picked this as a demo, can you? Nope. No reason whatsoever. No reason I picked this one as a demo.
Hold on. I will find a way to release you.
The cursed chains are threads of sorcery. Strike with clarinets. Be aware of enemies. And then be aware you will have to solve the mystery of the runes of Svarog.
Yeah. The protagonist speaks way too many clues. Hey, it's not bad. Again, this is for a rookie developer, yeah. Yeah, this is more Slavic myth. Again, a lot of werewolves or monsters and bad comes from more like English myth, right? When it comes to the Celts, the Gaelic myths, Welsh myths and things like that, like Slavic things, werewolves and stuff like that were... Oh, and from the Greeks. I guess I should say from the Greeks and stuff, werewolves were a bad thing, right? The curse of Lycaon. But no, in a lot of other mythologies like Slavic and Gaelic, Celtic, and things like that, werewolves are much more like they are the guardians and attuned with nature, right? I should get... I do kind of want to get a werewolf VTube model. It'd be fun. The cursed chains are threads of sorcery. Strike with clarinet. Yeah. Boop.
Runes? Avena told me about the power of Perrin and Svarog.
I got trapped trying to solve the puzzle. Come, hurry up.
My clarinet. With it, I can cleave through and break the chains.
Whoa! Okay. Ah! You fuck. Oh my god.
Grey Wolf, your howls reached my ears, yet I doubted it was truly you. What has befallen you, old friend?
Domovoy sought my aid to fight Kolobok, who vanished some nights ago. I reached beyond the bridge, yet there was no trace of him. As I was returning, suddenly rocks rained like a curse, and the flowers turned to serpents, binding me in their venomous grip. I lost my powers, and then I got trapped because of the wrong combination of runes.
I see, but why could you not defend yourself?
Strength alone falters when our paths lie divided. Our essence is weakened. Our unity, Ivan, rekindles our power.
So, together we wield a power beyond our own? Avena's bestowed upon me the Bogatir's bound through Vela's rune, and I see a reflection of it on your amulet. Together, our symbols amplify our strengths, enabling us to overcome any challenge.
Indeed. Old tales speak of our ability to summon one another in times of need. Yet there are greater truths hidden within these runes. Truths we have yet to unearth.
Then we must seek those who may hold the answers.
I need time to rest, because this magic made me weak, and regeneration will take time. Go, I will find your trace. Find Avina.
Oh, God. Okay, those are very, very quick. Got it. Okay, what? Oh. Whew. Hopefully there's some healing we can get here soon. So I'm gonna need it.
When the forest howls, it is not always in warning. Sometimes, it's a call to remember who you are.
I need to heal. I need to heal real bad. Heal bad.
It seems that the branch above might open the hidden path to Leshy's mine.
Yep, that's a lot of roughness going on here. Oh no, it withers and dies. Oh, that's way more sad and fucked up of a healing thing than I thought it would be.
For the name of Velas, where are you, Grey Wolf? Don't leave me alone to get in this mine of Leshy.
Head back this way real quick. I want to check on stuff. Oh, hold on. Oh, no. Oh. Ugh. Okay. Not a fan of blind jumps.
Where the path twists and the air tastes of ash, the veil grows thin, and the truth walks on chicken legs.
Okay. Go see if there's anything back this way. Now that I can, you know, smash through some barriers and things like that. Okay, no. Bears! Bears running in the background. Oh! Oh! Whoa! I was like, that's just, don't be mean-spirited. Yeah, I hate when YouTube eats chat. Alright, well, down we go. Whee! Oh my god, that's instant death. If you're gonna say Baba Yaga, I know. Because they mentioned it at the start. Oh, hi, buddy.
We are not yet strong enough to face the perils ahead. We must delve deeper into the mysteries of our runes and uncover the powers they conceal.
And for now, I will press on alone.
Avina's ancient wisdom may be of service in unlocking the full potential of our unity. We must learn to harness the power of these runes to their fullest.
I'm on a mission now. Avena's asked me to gather 3 runes for the ritual. I'm curious to find out more. Not all truths lie beneath the sun. Some wait in the dark, buried with... Something happened here?
I have no idea. You never know with YouTube. YouTube are so censorious. Like, they just ban and censor so many things.
The runes are in your hands, Ivan. The bridge no longer sleeps beneath the mist. But mark this. The river carries you no further. Beyond this path, your shadow must walk without mine.
Will you not reveal what lies across the river?
Only echoes reach me from that side. They say Domovoy watches from the grave soil. Where roots drink from both light and death, there your heart shall be weighed, not by strength, but by memory.
And the rune of Veles? What truth flows from its spring?
Its tale was sung long ago by my father, Vodyanoi, he who sleeps in the sunless depths. The rune was forged in silence, in the drowning of fear, and the rising of will. To make it work, you must descend, and listen to the swarming waters of the swamp. Veles rune is the smallest thing that you have to be anxious about. Find Domovoy. He is in trouble, which means we are in trouble.
Oh!
This music makes me want to dance.
You're shitting. I'm like, you're shitting me. You're actually shitting me. I gotcha. Sorry, when it's that much of a taunt, it's like, no.
Even the ruins of the old castle are possessed. How did Baba Yaga let this happen?
Okay, just... Whoa. Whoa! Whoa! Can't get it. Okay. I'm over there. What? A wolf in the background.
You stand in the hollow of forgotten names, a place where even the spirits dare not speak.
Is this where Kolobok vanished? Domovoy's trail ends here.
The Domovoy wandered too far, drawn by echoes not meant for the living. To reach him, you must first open the path between realms.
How?
Climb the Tree of Mourning. There lie the 5 runes, each carved by ancient hands, each a key to the veil. Find and return. Soul, for the soul that guides. Blood, for the blood that binds. Mystery, for the secret that tempts. Connection, for the bond that breaks. Death, for the death that frees. Only when all 5 are gathered will the ritual begin.
What kind of ritual is this?
A summoning, a reckoning, a memory reborn. Find the runes, and they will find their way when you complete the whole circle of 5.
That is not even remotely close to what's being here, but that's like what, the 5th time that that's happened? Oh. Whoa! Okay. That was not, in fact, a place you could go. Got it. Well, here's one. Oh, fuck. Alright, well. Here we go. Ah, no, you can't stand on that. Alright. I don't know. Oh, spoder. A big spoder, too. It's a very simplistic game, isn't it?
Hostile plant. Here? Why? I can feel a lot of negative aura.
Oh, ah. Oh. Ooh. Oh my god. I'm different spurts. Different spurts. Oh! Okay, that would have been instant
Before
death.
I glimpsed the trunk of this tree.
Oh, he got me. Okay. Really? Oh, God. Chickens. So many chickens. Well, 2 chickens, but still. Whoa!
Yet, what if something remains lost to me? Despite finding Domovoy, the forest secrets remain silent. I feel Svarog's power when I grasp Cladnet's. How could it have such strength?
Huh? The heck? Why are my jumps so limited now? What the fuck? Oh! You do not have very good air control, by the way, in this. Whoa! In fact, you might even say it's really fucking bad.
Turn back, stranger. This place is sealed. It must remain sealed.
Voice? Line? Line?
I remember nothing but duty. This ground holds the last breath of those who came before. I guard it now from all, even from memory.
But the runes, they're not meant to be buried. There's magic here that must be restored. I came to help.
No one helps. No one remembers. Only silence remains. And I am the silence's teeth.
Oh, how very edgy.
You weren't always like this. Avena spoke of the old ways, of you watching over fires and families.
Lies, tricks. I am not a memory to be unearthed. I am the ward of rot, the keeper of the forgotten. This is the last sacred place, and I will not let you taint it with light.
Then I'll fight, not to destroy you, but to remind you. This kingdom needs its protectors, not their ghosts.
Ah! Whoa! That's cheating. Oh my god. Whoa! Oh, that's so unfair. That's so fucking unfair. When it brings those plants in. Oh, well. I mean, this is fine. He's having a moment, chat. What? What? Who threw that rock? Why is he dead? I only asked that because a rock got thrown at his head. Like right after, and then we howled. Now we're looking at the stars? Where are we going somewhere with this? Oh. That's rough. Hey, that's rough, buddy. Hold on. More people worked on this than I thought they did. A lot of more people worked on this than I thought they. Oh, there we go. There's some doubles up. All right. All right, chat. I will be right back. I'm going to make myself some food because I'm very hungry. So I'll BRB a momento, and we'll get the next demo. All right, chat. We ready for the next game? Let's see. All right, chat. I'm going to give you guys a choice. A or B? You know, in fact, let's do it like this. Start a poll. Without context. A, B. No, I don't want to add an option. How do we remove an option? There we go. Okay. There we go. Without context, chat. Are either of these werewolf related? No, I gotta save another werewolf related one for tomorrow. But they may be werewolf adjacent. Both of them. Like I said, this is all done without context. I'll give it a little bit so I can eat some of my sandwiches. Sandwiches. Looks like B it is, eh? Okay. Okay. Looks like B it is. All right. B. B. So, chat. You made your choice. You made your choice, chat. Welcome to Dog Punk. Welcome. It's a bit rough. You can see it kind of fluctuating. Take everything down a little bit. Make things a little more stable, I hope. It's a little rough still. Let's try medium. And we just want to get it to where it like runs smooth, you know? Alright, let me finish my first sandwich, and we'll start the tutorial. I can't tell you how good it feels to actually eat food again. Oh my god. Tutorial. Private military, corporate wars. Nations are obsolete. Companies are armies. Soldiers are assets. Obedience is engineered. You were never meant to think. Never meant to choose. Today we change. Oh, rough. Assembly. I feel like there was supposed to be stuff in those things. Oh. Okay. Gun! Enhancements allow advanced traversal. The facility uses these tests to evaluate battlefield mobility. Okay. That's what I've heard as well. Sorry, say that again, apparently? Apparently I fucked up the wall run. Quite significantly. I didn't get it right the first time. What? What do you want me to do? I didn't get it right the first time. I need a tutorial for the tutorial. Oh! You have to look away. Oh, it auto does! It auto does it. Yikes! I don't think that's I don't think what I'm doing was correct. I feel like I flummoxed that pretty rough. Wee! Wee! Oh my god! Being janky. Oh, okay, that was that. Oh, nope, I need to do wall run. Excuse me, what? How? Oh! Okay. Oh, fuck. Ah! No! Thought we would ledge grab. We did ledge grabs before. Now suddenly we're not ledge grabbing? There we go. It's very, very janky. Janky! Okay. Because it auto wall runs you everywhere. Woo! I don't think that was intentional. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Oh, we skipped that section. Again, see, look, auto wall runs you if you look away. Demo version of the game, several abilities and weapons have been pre-unlocked. Okay. kibble gears to unlock and upgrade abilities and weapons. Earn them from enemies and loot boxes. Ultimate weapons require super kibble gear dropped by bosses. Okay. I mean, might as well be, right? Ah, it's inside me! I guess. How do I switch weapons or anything? Five kill streak, health regen. Anti-activated overdrive, granting increased fire rate and temporary damage immunity. Apparently infinite ammo. Movement's not very enjoyable. It's very janky. It's very slow. Not like Ultra Kill. Ultra Kill. Honestly, that's what I would tell them is take a look at Ultra Kill and learn what they did. Ugh. I mean, there's just something that feels off. Whoa! Nor is the weapon really satisfying to use. I want to use the other weapon, but I don't know how to get to it. Eh. I think I'm good on that one. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Very unfortunate. I feel like that one will take a lot of explaining. Alright, I guess that one will be tomorrow. Yeah. Alright. So we'll do Bistro, Dungeons of Dusk, Iron Blight. So, these are the ones we have. Bistro, Blood Reaver, Dungeons of Dusk, Iron Blight, The Long Winter, which we will be playing absolutely tomorrow, and the Seth demo. So, yeah, we got a lot of demos still to go. But yeah, chat. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Yeah. You guys enjoyed? Again, we spent a lot of time reading the stuff I've written now. Dogpunk was more disappointing than I expected. I don't like the controls of it. They're very unintuitive. It feels really sluggish. Doesn't feel responsive at all. And the weapons feel really meh. So, well, the weapon feels really meh. I wanted to use the Greyhound, but yeah. I am feeling a lot better. I'm in the slow grind now, where for next month, I have to do 6 salt washes, or salt rinses a day. And that's to let it all fill in properly and keep it all cleaned out, all the holes. The holes in my mouth now. Ugh. Holes. Gross. Anyways, chat. In the meantime, hope you guys take care. Fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get figure ripped. I will see you back here tomorrow. And yeah. On Saturday, for Saturday Showtime, we'll be watching the Zombieland sequel. So hopefully I'll see you guys there for that. Bye-bye for now, everyone.